So I almost, you know what I almost just said? I almost called you Jazz. I know it's not funny. Okay. Samantha Bustamante, Colombia.
Cut that off.
Okay. No, thank you for doing this podcast with me. This is like I'm brand spanking new. You know, my first few episodes that I'm starting off. Why not bring the one that's been with me for the longest now on my team?
Yeah, it should have been the first one, by the way.
Should have been the first one. Ooh, low blow. And we haven't even started yet. They're gonna get a taste of how spicy you really are. Okay. So with that being said, I wanted just to kind of go back in time. I want to go back into time and say how we met, what inspired you to get into real estate. So if we can go back into time, I'm going to go ahead and say I entered your life back in 2008. Is that about right?
Yes.
Okay. And your parents were doing a house. They were selling their house with me because I had sold the neighbor's house for sale by owner. I had converted the listing.
Yes.
And then your dad saw me off the sign, picked up the phone, called. And then did you know at the time when they invited me over, they were selling their house?
I don't remember that.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
So they used to have some young guy in a suit showing up at your house, and you're like, who the hell this is? You don't remember me coming?
I don't even remember you coming. I don't think we were home. Maybe we were at school, but I do remember when they told us where we're going to move next, and I was so mad at you and your mom because your mom was helping.
But the house was beautiful. You were buying the St. Cloud, right?
Yeah, which was a lot of cows back then. It's not like it is now.
Yeah, back then it was Blackstone. I remember Blackstone up in St. Cloud. It was like one of the first big, beautiful communities in St. Cloud. There was nothing there at the time.
It's crazy because you and your mom told them like it's gonna become big. It's gonna be like Lake Nona. So you guys were right.
If you guys kept it, could you imagine?
Oh yeah, trust me.
My God, they sold it. They bought multiple homes and sold with me, which I'm very grateful for them for being my clients. But I would have never imagined at that time. I was a young 30-year-old. Oh, wait, you're 30, right?
I'm 30 now.
Oh, you're 30. So, oh my God. So 15 years ago.
Yeah, I was 15.
15.
Yeah.
And I was 30. Oh my God, that's such a major, like, I felt really old. So I would have never thought you at 15, we would be doing this podcast together and you would be working side by side next to me on my team. I mean, that just sounds awesome, but crazy at the same time. Did you ever think that we would be working together?
No, when I was 15,
No, absolutely not. You were thinking, what's that high school? Thinking of a dance or a boy, right? No, I don't know. It'd be interesting. Back to getting in your brain what you were thinking at that time. So during that process, we sold your parents' house. Everything happened. In high school, did you think you wanted to get into real estate?
No, never. I wanted to work with animals.
You wanted to work with animals? A veterinarian?
Yeah.
Way too much freaking schooling, right?
Yeah, I didn't even go that far.
Oh, you didn't go? Okay, I was say, yeah, veterinarian. But you got to go. Yeah, I never was too good in school. I had a basketball scholarship in San Francisco, and I got out my first year. But other than that, I barely made it through high school. That's another story for another day. But we have a lot in common. So one of the things we have in common, before we go back into memory lane, is now we'll save it. I was going to talk to you about the real estate test, but we'll wait for that. So let's go back to memory lane. So now, at what age, what time, you picked up the phone, you called me because you wanted to buy a house?
Yes.
Okay. When you wanted to buy a house, were you thinking of getting into real estate back then?
No.
You still weren't ready into real estate. What were you doing at that time? So you were buying a house. You bought a house with me back in 2016, and at that point, you were working at a pretty good job, from what I recall.
Yeah, it was actually a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, weekends off, paid PTO, 25 days, I think it was.
25 days paid time off?
Yeah.
Are they still hiring? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, health insurance, benefits, like a real job.
After this podcast, they're going to be sending you applications. Like, what was the name of the company? So you're working for a good job. So what possessed you? I'm sorry. What motivated you to get in real estate?
Legit woke up one day and was like, I want to become a realtor. And I told my parents, I was like, hey, I have this idea. I want to become a realtor. I want to work for Jason. Let's call Jason. So they were a little shocked too. They were like surprised and hesitant, but we called you and met with you. We met and I told you like, hey, I want to work with you. I want to become a realtor. And you were just like, whoa.
wait, how was that again? I'm going to keep that on like rewind on a reel. Yeah, I hope we cut that up and we send it out a couple of times. So you wanted to become a realtor. You met with me. Most parents at this time, you were at what age? You were 25?
24.
24. So you're 24, leaving a good paid salary benefit PTO job, which, you know, me, I've always said job is just over broke. And I said, if you can get out of corporate America and work for yourself, you might as well do it. But that's kind of scary because a lot of people in their 20s, parents are going to say, no, go get a job, get a salary. And I'm not supposed to be tapping on the table because it's probably messing up the mic, but I'm really bad at this, you know, podcast thing. So they would want you to stick with a job and not go into 100% commission. And you knew going into getting your real estate, you know, you eventually you're gonna have to do 100% commission or you get paid a small amount of money and then gradually get into it. So you still wanted it no matter what. So what happened? You bought a house for me.
Mm-hmm.
Very good house. Tell me what you did with that house. Well, what was the plan on the house? Because you had a whole plan behind that purchase.
I got, you know, some extra cash savings I saved too. Okay. And that was going to be my down payment. So I wanted to invest in that money. So, you know, me and my parents came up with like, hey, let me go buy a house. So okay. I think I had gotten approved twice. The first time it was too low, the amount. So I waited. And I think that's when the second time I got approved with Nick Long.
Awesome.
And that's when we bought this house by UCF. And the plan, I had told you the plan. The plan was to rent the rooms out and have them pay rent out the rooms, charge them, and then that will be amount of how much the mortgage would be.
So how many roommates did you have?
I had 3.
So it was a 4-bedroom house?
Yeah.
So wait, hold on. So you had 3 other young ladies from UCF, college students?
Yeah, they were going to college, yeah.
And they rented each room out and it covered the mortgage?
Yeah.
So you live rent free?
Yeah.
Okay. So
for 2 years.
Just so you know, this FYI, you need to have a little podcast for that or a video that says how you can buy a house when you're young and rent out the rooms. Yeah,
I have a buyer who did that recently too, and I gave her the idea. So I actually share that all the time. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. So you helped them out. So you're in your 20s, you got into real estate, you got your house. When you came to me and said, hey, I want to work on your team, tell me how long did I try to push you away or just was I pro it? Was I against it? So tell me the story behind that.
Yeah, you were very pushy. You're like, no, like, are you sure? You know, you just got a house, you have a mortgage, you have a good job, like stay at your job. Like you were convincing me to stay at my job. And I was like, no, I'm going to work with you and I'm going to get my real estate license. Like, tell me what I have to do. And then you're like, well, don't quit your job yet. And I was like, well, I already quit. And you're just like,
right. And, you know, to this day, you never asked me the question why, like most people I'll push off the ledge and say, come on, you know, get some balls. You can do it. Right. With you, I was like, no, please don't. What are you thinking? Are you crazy? I was kind of like being your parents. Where I say most parents would tell their kids not to do it. I was the same way. And your parents weren't going to go ahead and do it. They were like, yeah, that's a good idea. Go, go, go. And I was like, no, no, no. So what, do you have any idea why I was kind of like hesitant or kind of wanted to steer you to stay more safe?
No, I have no idea.
Okay. The reason being is me being in real estate as long as I have is I create major bonds with families. And your mom, I love her a lot. I love your dad a lot. They became not just my clients, but they became friends afterwards. It wasn't just real estate. It was just, they were invited places, parties and everything. And
they love you a lot too. Like I think they love you more than Jose.
I mean, we got to edit that. Jose's going to get mad.
He knows.
So I knew the way I cared for them and the way they cared for me, it was almost like they gave me their daughter, right? And it's like, almost like, here's my daughter, take care of her. You take her out to the movies or you take her to marriage. Or it was like one of those handoffs. And I didn't want the responsibility of me thinking, and this is my, you know, in my next podcast, I'm gonna be talking about mindset, you know, and my mindset at that time was, what if she fails? What if she doesn't do this? What if? I kept thinking of this negative, you know, lack, this word lack, no abundance, no positivity. You know, I had positive for myself. I had positivity here, but I just said, Sam is nice. She's sweet. She's a young lady. She's not as crazy and obnoxious like me. She's quiet. And I don't think she has that like aggression. All these stupid limited beliefs that I put on you when I really didn't even know you. So I was 50% of me was letting down your mom and dad. And I didn't want that feeling of doing wrong, right? And then the other 50% was like, oh my God, she's in my hands. And what if she fails? She has a mortgage payment. Now she has no job. So what it did, it actually, I don't know if you know this, but it actually pushed me that says, if you're really good at what you do, and if your talk is what if you back up your talk, walk the walk. So if you're that confident as a good coach and as a good mentor, then you should be able to push her to be successful. So you also pushed me, coincidentally. So even though it's almost like you pushed me to be a better person in that one era in my life. So let's go ahead. So I told you not to do it. Now, I took the real estate test 13 times, okay? I'm not dumb. I'm really proud of saying that. I'm just not a good test taker. I have that relentless attitude. I'm the one that says, no, I won't give up. Most realtors, after 2 times, they give up. And after 3, 4 times, 60%, 70% never take the test again. They give up completely. Real estate goes out of their mind. So how many times did you take the test?
So I took it 8 times.
8 times. What?
It was hard for me.
It was
very stressful, very like it brought you really low, but I had to do it.
Why didn't you give up?
Because there was like no other plan. I mean, I tried, but I was just like, no, this is it. No A, no B. This is my plan. This is it.
It's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
That's the first time when I started seeing like this quiet, relentless person that was just determined. You had the determination. So then now you got your license, you passed your test. We're excited.
Yeah.
And you come and you go all in. What does that look like? How was it for the first 2 years?
It was rough because when I came to you to like I want to become a realtor, you wanted me to call FSBO. So I was an ISA first, inbound sales associate. So I did that for a whole year. Then when I got my license, I was like, I don't want to call. I don't want to deal with FSBOs no more.
What are FSBOs again?
For sale by owners.
For sale by owners.
Yes.
Okay.
So I was calling for sale by owners and I was scheduling previews for you to go and get the listing. So after a year, for once I passed, I legit stopped doing that. I was like, okay, I'm going to do it myself. And I just went straight to, become an agent. And I did that. And then I got pregnant in 2020. So I was afraid to, go out there because of COVID or whatever. So I would say 2022, 2023 has been where I just put the gas on the engine and went.
You just took off.
Yeah.
Let's go back to when you were first converting for me. So you were my appointment setter, in essence.
Yeah.
Do you remember the last year how much you made for me?
No.
Do you have a rough idea?
No.
Take a wild guess.
No, I have no idea. We never we don't have any record for it. So I don't know.
I know. So if you had to take a wild guess, just think about the one short sale that you found.
Yeah, that was a good one.
How much did I make on the short sale?
I don't remember.
80?
No.
Okay. And that's just one deal. So that year, your last year that I said, please don't leave, stay in that position, you as one agent had made in total, basically commissions, roughly GCI gross commissions, roughly around $140,000 for me in 9 months.
Wow.
That $80,000 one on the flip that I did with the short sale was a great appointment. And you decided not to do that. I was willing to pay you more and stay in that position with a high salary and a bonus. And you were like, no, I'm not going to do this no more. And then, so now let's bring it fast forward. Now, tell me what's going on in your real estate world, but also your personal world. Tell me what's going on in your world and how you're navigating to be where you still are with, remember, you started in your 20s. Now you're 30. You have 5 years under your belt, right? Roughly. There's a lot that's happened since you bought the house with me.
Yes.
Talk to me a little about that.
Let's see. I sold the house that I bought with you. I used that for another house that I love. I fell in love with it. It's in a great area that I never thought I would be living in. So
why did you never think that you would be living in that neighborhood?
Because of limited belief. Yeah.
More expensive neighborhood too.
It's more expensive. Yeah. Like it was for us growing up, it was a more expensive, neighborhood. So
your parents couldn't afford in that neighborhood at the time.
No, not at the time, no. So I got, I got that one, got that house. And now I am just being consistent on my schedule. I have some blocks because I'm a mom. So now I have to add her time in there. picking her up, dropping her off.
How old is your daughter so people can understand when you had the daughter, and how old is she now?
She's going to be 3 next month. And I'm blessed to have my parents helping me watch her. So I drop her off in the morning, and then I pick her up in the afternoon. So I come to the office at 8 o'clock every day, and I make my phone calls, and then just doing that constantly for the last 5 years, just being in your team, knowing that we have to be in the office at 8:30 every day.
8:30 in the morning.
Mhm.
But it's not just getting in the office. I have a schedule that I like my team to be on, but you also have your daily routine. What does some of your mornings look like when you wake up? And what does it look like in the middle of the day when you're making the calls and towards the end of the day? Because a lot of people don't understand there's a work-life balance with real estate. You have a fiance, which is a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
You got your parents, which is a full-time job, and then your child. And then the big job, you're a boss woman. Just trying to figure it out, like, how do you navigate through all that?
I stick with my schedule. I'm consistent. I wake up in the morning. I have a routine in the morning. I, come to the office. I have another routine. I have the same call list that I call every day. Then I'm able to leave after lunch, do some errands, then make calls at home. I don't just do real estate from 9 to 5. Like, I take a break, I take a mental break, and then I do it again. And I get to spend time with my baby, and then with Jose if I want to.
So a lot of what you're telling me is, it seems like you're pretty consistent or disciplined with whatever your schedule is now that you have a lot more on your plate.
Yeah, I have to be. To be organized, to be consistent in real estate, you have to have a schedule. People think that you can come in whenever you want, show up whenever you want. It's really not. Like, I've seen it throughout the years. The more you work and the more consistent, your business grows.
Got it. And then you're better able to control your time more. What about the people that are, we're recruiting and interviewing nowadays a lot of younger people that are getting into the market, a lot of realtors in their 20s. Back when I was doing real estate, there wasn't that many groups of 20-year-olds that I can remember getting into the market. Now there's a wave of 20-year-olds that are getting in the market at a younger age. I mean, my younger brother, Kyle, he got in real estate because, he had me and his brother and his mom and the whole family. So he got in at 18. But now I'm starting to see that that's a common thing. We have 19-year-olds getting in it, 20-year-olds in it. What would be your best advice for 20-year-olds getting into the market? Knowing what you know now, if you can go back to when you were 24,
Mm-hmm.
what would you have done different in the beginning?
I would not have a day off. Yeah.
You would not have a day off. What do you mean? Now I'm a realtor. I'm a little scared. I'm new. What do you mean? I don't get to go boating with my friends on the weekend?
Just go all in. I mean, I did go in when I was young, but I feel like I didn't have so much responsibility like I do now. So I do have to stop and put responsibility on my schedule and, doctor's appointments and stuff like that. I feel like when we were in the 20s, 24, you don't have to worry about that. It was just you and your friends.
Right.
So I would do real estate during the day and hang out with your friends at night, but don't go past midnight, because then you got to go, wake up early and go to do real estate. So it's
so you
stick with the schedule.
You can't just go ahead and some of the misconception is, hey, I can do real estate for 2 days and take off 2 weeks. I wouldn't be good in real estate if I just did that.
No.
Can I just make videos like they show on YouTube and do reels? Is that how you do real estate?
I don't do that.
You wouldn't suggest that, I'm assuming.
No, you actually have to call and work and find the people. They're not going to just show up and knock on your door and be like, sell my house or help me buy. You have to actually go look for them. You're going to have to get a lot of no's and curse words and all that before you get in a yes. And mindset is so important too. You have to keep it positive and just keep going, because you could have 10 no's and you can just have that one yes in 2 weeks. You never know.
Correct. No. And the thing with you is that, along the journey with the mindset, because my next podcast is going to really talk about mindset. Can you remember, we're not going to use any names on here. Do you remember a couple of the doubters that said, you won't make it, you won't hack it? in some of the teams or people that were in and out of the team.
Mhm.
Do you remember any of that negativity that you overheard or people, just like some people were not going to go ahead and say the biggest cheerleader in your corner.
I don't remember this.
You know?
I guess I did. I was very to myself. I'm not going to be honest. For the first couple years that I was in your team, I was just doing my job and doing what I had to do. I would show up 8:30 and keep to myself, socialize here and there, but I was also just focused. Yeah.
The reason I was trying to bring that back up is I look back and I remember two people specifically that were really pretty good producers on my team. And they had a very, my personality, big, confident, and they're very strong people, strong personalities. Both of them had she's how is she continually going in, getting rejected time and time again, and you keep going after it? That resilience that you had, that relentless attitude, or I call it Kobe, the Mamba mentality, you kept not giving up. You kept pushing and pushing and pushing. Is there anything that you, where does that come from? Did that come from like mom and dad? Or, was that just you were born with it? Or did you just have that like determination that you didn't want to give up? You didn't give up wanting to get your license. You didn't want to listen to me about sticking with your job. You basically said, screw you, I'm doing real estate. You went against a lot of stuff and you went against a lot of adversity. Where does that come from?
It comes from my parents. They always taught us to just don't give up, keep going, work hard, to go if you want to get there. So it really came from them. Even with like basic high school stuff, my mom would be like, don't give up, keep trying, like, don't listen to them, don't listen to anybody. If you want to do it, you do it. So they have a big part of it. So I think just growing up knowing that, God, I guess, helped me in this.
And then, and then even with your fiancé, it's kind of how he was doing something totally different. What is he doing now?
So he's a lender. He works with Apex Group at Guarantee Rate. And he saw me how real estate was working and he kind of fell in love with that whole interest rate. So he went forward to become a lender. And he also, had trouble moving forward with it, but he didn't give up. And I think he saw me how I didn't give up on my tests, on my real estate career. And there was times I come home crying because I couldn't do it. So he saw all that. So that helped both of us.
I've never seen you cry before.
Sure.
It's a joke because we've encountered crying moments in our career, but I push you hard. Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being crazy and 1 being, it's Snow White. What would you rank me as me pushing you?
No, you push me when I need it, for sure. Real estate drags you. It's not fun all the time. You get in a funk.
You get defeated.
I've gotten in a funk this year, and with me, you can just tell me something that you know of me, and you like kind of push me out of that funk, and I'm okay for like another 6 months. So, but I guess a 10.
10. So I push you in the right moment. I'm not too hard on you because sometimes I feel like I'm too hard on you.
No, you always, I guess because I come to you but you always come around when I need you the most. And I think that's why I'm still here.
Well, thank you. The goal is, and currently you're coaching and mentoring two of our agents right now. You're moving into a step of leadership. How are you liking this new role? Mentoring and learning kind of behind the scenes what I do. What do you like about it, or what's frustrating about the leadership aspect of it?
Right now I like it. I enjoy because it keeps me accountable even more. Like, it's like, hey, if I'm not making calls, why are they going to make calls? Because that's how I look at it. If I was the other way around, why am I going to make calls? Is this person not making calls? So, helping them, also just teaching them, like, I've been in those shoes. I know what you're going through, and this is how I overcome it. I feel like it's better for them just because I didn't really have that. I had to figure it myself figure it out myself because everybody was their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So now they have jumped a couple steps compared to like how I had to learn.
Cool. So it's a lot easier for them than it was when you started back in the day.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So with that being said, I wanted to say thank you for coming in on this podcast. I wanted you to at least have your own podcast here in the near future. And then hopefully you're going to be mentoring and interviewing other people like I'm doing with you. Is there anything that you can leave with somebody that's looking at this and still on the fence about getting their license? One or two things that you would say to motivate them and to push them over the edge? Any recommendations or suggestions?
Yeah, I mean, if you're young, do it. Just do it and go all in. Don't be lazy. If you have coaching, that's even better. Listen to everything they say. If you're a mom and you don't have help, this is like a job that you can work around it. This is probably the only thing that you can schedule and still make money, but you have to be committed. You can't lack. If you have support, use them. Don't say yes to everything. Mm-hmm. Use your support. Ask for help, and do real estate.
Okay, that's awesome, you guys. As what you know of Samantha right now, and I talk about you a lot in this way. You come off, and in the beginning, you're very quiet. You're very low key. You're very mellow. You're calm. But I will let everybody know, don't let that fool you, because Samantha's the type of person that she's going to go ahead and her presentation is going to be calm, chill, sweet, her voice. But then when it's time to do business, if she's going against you for a listing, she's not going to leave the house. She's going to get the listing. The bulldog's going to come out. If she works with the buyer, you're going to see the questions she poses to the buyers. She's not going to show houses for 3 weeks. She'll probably show maybe 1 week of maybe 5 houses, mm-hmm. and she'll help you find a house. So for anybody that's new in real estate, when I attach your information, if a mom or a young lady or an older lady or a woman that's looking at you, or even men can call her too or reach out. I would say it's okay. Is it okay if they send you a message or they inquire more about you because you come off so soft-spoken and so calm, but I want them to also know behind closed doors, this is your nature. If they do want to reach out to you, is that okay? When I tag you on the bottom, is it okay if some younger ladies might reach out to you?
Yeah, of course. You can definitely do it. I like to help. I like to give advice and share. I'm honest.
Okay, awesome. I appreciate it. Like my last name, ASA. Always stay authentic. Until then, I'll see you on the next podcast, and I will be talking about mindset. So again, thank you very much. And Sam, people are going to be watching you now.
Thank you.
They've already been watching you. But anyways, thanks. I appreciate it.